Hello and welcome back to Memory Sports TV. I decided to upload the complete final of the World Championship 2022-2023, which was held just 2 weeks ago between Alex Mullen from the US and Andrea Muzii from Italy. The final, the same final as last year, and last year Alex won the World Championship after he lost the first match. Then he won the second match, and then they had to play a deciding match. And he won it, beating Andrea twice in a row. This year, it was almost the same. Andrea won the first match, then Alex won the second match, and then they had to play a third match. In total, we had 16 competitors, but these two are the best. This match was best of 3 sets, and the question was, can Alex do it again, beating Andrea twice in a row, who was such in a good shape here. He won the last match against Alex in the last season, and now he had the chance to grab the title, the World Championship title, which he has never done before in the Memory League competition. In order to make it a bit easier for you, because it's a long match, I put in all the timestamps. So you can see all the timestamps in the description, and you can click to the first set, to the second set, or into the interview which was held after the competition. It was a very nice interview between Alex and Andrea. So everything else will be explained by our moderators, commentators from that day, Florian Mingus, Simon Reinhardt, Katie Kermode, and I think Simon Orton, the inventor of Memory League, was also there. So have fun, enjoy the match, and this is already a classic. Keep on memorizing.
All right, I think this is it. So, hello and welcome everyone to the Memory League World Tour Final. Oh, I can hear myself here in the background. And yeah, between Alex Mullen from the US and Andrea Muzii from Italy. And with me today, I have 2 Simons. Yeah.
Hello, greetings. Simon Reinhardt here. Very nice being here.
And the other Simon we have in the background is Simon Orton, of course, the man behind the website and many other things. And yes, Johannes is not on the stream, at least not right now. I'm not sure if he's going to drop by later on, but he had some other plans today. So he will not be running the stream at least. We'll see. Maybe he drops by later on. And yeah, so so it's the final, right? We already had one yesterday. This let's say will be the repeat, and today, as well as yesterday, we will start with a surprise event. And yeah, there are not many instructions for this one, right, Simon?
No, there are no instructions. Sometimes there are written instructions for the competitors to prepare. This time, no. So it's a double surprise event in a way. And it should also be starting soon.
Yeah, all right. So here's the front page of Memory League as well. You can see it. Have you actually had that before for you, Simon? That there were no instructions at all, or?
I feel that lately that's almost the norm.
Okay, yeah.
I always prefer if there are instructions, because then you can prepare a bit of strategy. And the other thing is you really need to reserve 5 seconds in the beginning to check out the situation. If you start memorizing immediately, if there are no instructions, you might take a wrong turn. That's what my experience has shown.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see, I feel, the surprise events.
Yeah, I mean, in general, also maybe as a short introduction, welcome to everybody watching here on Twitch. And very nice that I can be here again after the very exciting match yesterday. And a very brief introduction for people who might be new to this. This is a memory competition match 1 against 1. It works rather similar to a tennis match. You have a best of 3 sets. The first to win 2 sets wins. And the set usually goes to 4. The only exception is the first set. There it goes to 5. And the other details we will be explaining along the way. People can choose memory disciplines. We have words, names, international names, cards, numbers, and images. 1 minute memorization time, 4 minute recall time. And the one who memorizes more in that discipline wins the point. It's like in tennis when you win a game in a set. And if both have the same amount, which will also happen often, then the faster time wins. Those are the basic rules, and it's always extremely exciting to watch. And the surprise event will be starting soon. Memorization starts in 14 seconds.
Ooh. Curious to see what they have come up with this time.
Yeah.
So yesterday they had to memorize some cards together with, what was it, faces?
Oh, that's tough.
Oh,
Those are photos of well-known memory athletes, but with their names shuffled. This seems tough, I have to say, because sometimes in the normal set of faces, there is a person that you know. And sometimes this really trips me up. Yeah. So having a bunch of person, here you see me with the name of Naoki. Andrea confident with 30 seconds. That's interesting. I think maybe it's a bit wiser to repeat here, but we will see.
But it's not only the well-known, it's actually the top 16 from the World Championship, right?
All of the participants. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
I mean, the good thing is, of course, that you have all of the names. So you can basically go through them in your head if you know all of the 16, and then you can just work with a matter of an exclusion. Maybe Andrea noticed this right away, and maybe that's the right strategy after all, because he thought it's basically like cards, yeah, where you have some cards left if you have some gaps.
How do you feel like you would have performed yourself? I know it's always hard to say, because if you're in the moment and you just see it, sometimes you're getting like really, it's hard to like really focus on the task, etc. But how do you think you would have done yourself?
I think I would have looked at them twice, and I guess if you look at them twice, you have a good chance of getting them all. But you can never know. I mean, it's hard to say, yes, I would have had them all, but I would have tried at least.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex has them all, so now Andrea cannot afford to make a mistake. And honestly, I also don't think he will make a mistake. It's always what the viewers should also getting used to is we will be making some predictions of what we think will like happen or not, and sometimes how fast someone will memorize something and so on. And here my prediction would be that Andrea won't make a mistake, mostly because you can really see which names you don't have and which names are still left. But he is definitely, it's clear that he's taking a bit longer than Alex, but should be. I mean, the fewer names there are left, the fewer names you need to assign. So this looks good for Andrea.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, so you became Naoki this time?
Yes, not the worst kind of transformation. And that looks like a win for Andrea in the first surprise event. Also for our viewers, when I said that the first set goes to 5, it's important to know that there is no necessity for a 2-game lead. So you can win the first set 5-4. And in the other sets, you need a 2-game lead. So there is also a tiebreak in the second set. Strictly according to the rules, such a tiebreak would only happen in the rare case if they play 6-6, and then a specific event is chosen. And in the last set today, as far as I am aware, there will be no tiebreak, so it will be with a 2-game lead normally. And you will also be seeing when both are clicking finish, so you can click finish during recall. After both have clicked finish, you will see in the upper bar to the right of the word surprise, you will see the results and who has won. And it's always clear that the one who has this golden background is the one who is in the lead at the moment. So, and you will see in other disciplines, you will be seeing that the lead is changing sometimes when people are recalling information. And that's the basic setup, I think.
Maybe just to double check, it's Alex who has the first choice after the surprise event, right?
Yeah. It's always the higher seeded has the first choice. And in the second set, the other person, and in the third set, again, the higher seeded.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of people in the chat, both on Memory League, but also here on Twitch, quite enjoyed this event, especially
nice.
the competitors themselves.
I mean, of course, it's also one level may be more difficult because there are some female names assigned to male faces. But as mentioned, I think the whole thing would have been much more difficult if you would have had completely new names. Because then you can have this special overlap. Yeah, but if you have a set of names, it is definitely easier. And someone is asking on Twitch, Abderrahman, that the site is not working for them. It's a bit hard for me personally to help you from MFR. The site is working for me. And if you are logged in, the site should be working. Maybe you can try the classic things like clearing your cache or stuff like this, or trying to log on from a different browser. Usually then it should be working. Hopefully this can help you a bit. So also again, for people who might be new, now as Florian already has said, Alex as the higher seeded, as the number 1 in the world ranking, Andrea as the number 2, will have the first choice, and then Andrea. So usually athletes, this has become kind of like a tactical convention, you could say, are choosing the disciplines where they feel they have the best chance to win in order to put the maximum pressure on their opponent. And so Alex is choosing international names here, where he is usually scoring a bit higher than Andrea.
It seems like Alex went with international names here for the first one.
Yes, right. And I'm noticing that maybe Alex is a bit slow, because if you're looking at the names twice, you would like to be in the final column around the 30-second mark, but it seems he's going for a new strategy of leaving the final column open. We will be seeing how it goes. He should want to look at least all of the faces up to the last column twice in order to have a better chance. Now only 8 seconds left. This will be close. He should want to look at the faces. There will be some which you won't see. Not the end of the world. He has looked at 27 faces twice, and Andrea usually scores around 20. So Alex can afford to maybe also forget a few.
You can see here some of the top scores. Brought it up on the stream right now. I think in a few seconds you should be able to see it as well, Simon. Alex with plenty of top scores of 27, 26, and Andrea with 23 as a best in international names. And there's definitely an advantage here for Alex, on average at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but this is always interesting because the sets are also not always the same, and sometimes the sets are a bit closer to national names, which then lets people who score a bit higher, who are not scoring that high usually. So it always depends on how international the names are and how unknown the names are. It's always hard to say from the outside how easy or hard a set is. But I think at the moment, Andrea seems to be on not the worst way. He doesn't have many wrong names. But I also think he usually leaves faces empty where he doesn't know the name. Or sometimes at least he does this. So it's not necessarily said that he will enter everything everywhere. Yeah? And Alex now picking up the pace already at 19. And I think when Alex gets to around 21 to 22, he's getting a territory where it's getting a bit harder for Andrea to catch him. 19 is a bit on the edge, the 20, 21. So at the moment, this looks more like a point for Alex, but still a lot of time left, of course. What is also interesting for other viewers that Florian also has invested quite some time in collecting statistics and being able to say how two athletes perform against each other and how good they are in specific time ranges. And I think this will play a very interesting role also in that match. Is there any way in your statistics that you can see, for example, what the chances, let's say, if someone wins their first choice, how many cases they have won a set? I guess it's a bit of a special stat, yeah. So,
so always just the first choice or a specific discipline?
Yeah, what would be even more interesting is if someone wins their first two choices in matchups against these two, what then the chances that they win? Let's say Alex wins, so the chance is high that Alex will take international names now and then cards. Those are his two best disciplines. And if he gets those, what are the chances of Andrea to still win the set? That would be really interesting, but of course it's a bit hard to say.
Yeah, it's one would have to dive, let's say, a bit deeper into the statistics as well, and or the actual stats, and touch them up a little bit, I think, in general, because by default, for example, you would not really be able to tell who had the first choice in a match. So you would have to kind of do some sort of inference and say, okay, I think, unless you do that manually, but if you want to do it manually for all the thousands of games that have been played on Memory League, then that would not be so feasible.
Absolutely. Yeah, sure.
But there are definitely, I really believe that there is a lot of potential for really cool statistics that one can really draw out of all the data that is being generated on the Memory League website. But yeah, we'll see what more we can see of that in the future.
And that's the point for Alex. Alex equalizes, and now it's Andrea's choice. And the point is, it will not be enough for Alex to win only his own choices, because then the set will end 5-4 for Andrea. So Alex will have to win his choices and break, as you say, also tennis and Andrea at least once. And that will be basically the story of that set. Will Alex manage to break Andrea once, or will Andrea manage to bring home that advantage that he has by winning the surprise event?
We have a question from the audience from Jules. Why is there another final?
Do you want to answer that, Florian?
No, you can go ahead.
Okay, sure. It's because since last year the World Championship is in a double elimination format. This was inspired a bit by the Tetris World Championship. And the idea is that you have to lose twice in order to be eliminated. And since and there is an upper bracket, like the bracket of everybody who has not lost. And there's a lower bracket where everybody goes who has lost once. And if you lose in the lower bracket, then you have lost twice and you're out. So, and what happened is that basically in the final of the winner's bracket, Andrea beat Alex. So he sent them down to the lower bracket. And then Alex won this lower bracket. And the winner of the lower bracket, of all people who have lost once, gets a place in the grand final. So Andrea is meeting Alex again. And with the specific thing that because Alex already has lost once, Andrea only needs one win. So if Andrea had won yesterday, he would have become world champion. Alex, on the other hand, needs to beat Andrea twice because it's double elimination. So Andrea needs to lose twice in order to lose the final. And he already lost once yesterday. So they are on equal footing now. And the winner of today will be the world champion. And images have started?
Yes.
Alex faster. Wow. So it's clear that images is one of the disciplines that Andrea needs to win every time, basically. And his problem, you could say, is that Alex has improved there. Alex can now attack times of 13 seconds, which is extremely fast. And this puts pressure on Andrea. So let's see. But of course, it's also not a given that Alex is getting a time of 13 seconds correct. This should probably still feel fast for him. So I would say maybe it's a bit of a coin flip whether Alex gets this or not. And I think the chance is higher for Andrea to get a 13 seconds time. And that's the intrigue of this specific setup in this discipline.
Mm-hmm. If we can get some breakdowns here of the images scores up on the screen as well. Actually, these, I'm not sure how telling these graphs are actually in this specific case. But yeah, we can definitely see that Andrea has more games at, let's say, faster times, although not always being correct in those tries as well.
Yeah, it's interesting because you wouldn't say that there's such a huge difference between the two. You would instinctively maybe say that Andrea is the stronger images player, but from this statistic alone, it's not so clear. And Andrea already has the 30, a very confident recall, extremely impressive, of course. And Alex also still without a gap. He has one gap at without a mistake. I mean, he still has one gap at the grab, how it's called, like that you're grabbing images at the end without putting them on a memory location. And the question will be whether he will be able to fill that gap at the end. It looks good at the moment. At the moment, this looks like this could be the first break of the set. If Alex doesn't change anything, as we have said in the beginning, maybe everybody watching knows it, but still, because both have recalled all of the 30 images, the faster time counts. And that is why you at the moment see Alex with the golden background. So if nothing changes here, Alex would win this discipline and take a lead of 2-1.
On the topic of the grab, so I think it has already been discussed many times on the stream before, with how many things or images or names, etc., that competitors like to grab. How is it actually for yourself? How many images would you try to grab in the end?
Maybe 4 to 6, and I think that's usually what most people do. Mm-hmm. If you grab more, then you're getting above those 7 chunks limit. That still applies if you don't use memory techniques. So I think 4 to 6 is what most people do.
Because I can also say, like, for me personally, of course, I'm not nowhere at this level, but if I grab 3, I'm already happy with that. As soon as I go over 3, I start feeling like the accuracy of my grab goes down drastically.
Yeah, I feel that grabbing 4, I think, is about the sweet spot for me, and I feel that with 4, you can still say those 4 words in your head. Here, like with the last thing, it would be, I don't know what that is, some green ball, a spoon, flower, and house. And then ball, spoon, flower, house. And maybe after the memorization has ended, you have those 4 words in your head, and maybe you still put them on a location. So just to be safe. And then you also recall them first. That's what you will be seeing often. Also for the viewers, that athletes will usually recall this grab first, because it is not on a memory location. It's not as safe. And after they have done that, they can concentrate on seeing what is on their memory locations.
And so they're already done with the second one. This is a win for Alex. That is a little bit of a setback here for Andrea.
Yeah, and can we see what Alex has chosen? Can you see what is there on Andrea's screen? It looks like cards. Yeah, sure. This of course makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Now it should be visible on the stream as well. For some reason, I had scrolled a bit sideways here on one of the windows.
And what you will be seeing also here most probably is that because cards is a strong discipline by Alex, and Andrea has not much to lose, and he's also very strong, that Andrea will try to attack Alex. That's what you also saw yesterday. So he will also try to get a time of maybe 14 seconds and then hope that he can re-break Alex. So this will be, I think, a very crucial match for the whole set. So if Alex manages to hold here, then a 3-1 lead already sounds not bad. And I feel Alex might be a bit faster here. Yeah. Oh, okay. This was not based on my feeling. That was just chance. But those 2 hundredths of a second can be really crucial. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it is 1 millionth of a second. If both have the same information, the faster time wins. And maybe something that is interesting for the people at home also, sometimes you might think, not here, but sometimes it can happen that you think that one person is faster, but their time is slower. That is because the time is stopped not on a server where the information is set, but on the computer of the person. So the time is always correct because after they have memorized in their own browser, the signal that they have finished plus the time that has been stopped on the computer itself is being sent to the site. So any kind of delay cannot influence that. And sometimes the delay is simply there so that you see information a bit later, but the times are always correct. And here, Alex with a good start in recall. He not always starting that quickly. And Andrea also with a quick start. He just needs to shift a few cards. So that's what we will be seeing here. You can shift cards also in the Memory League software. Very, very nice. And so both with no mistake. Alex seemingly with 1 gap. And at cards, as you see, you always have this contingent of 52 cards. And if you manage to fill all of the other spots correctly, then Alex, for example, would like only have 4 cards left that can fill those gaps at the first row. And this usually makes it easier. You can go through the permutations in your head and you have a good chance to fill such a gap. Andrea with a few more gaps, but still absolutely doable. Andrea also extremely strong at cards. And I think at the moment, both look poised for getting this. So you will be seeing Alex thinking for a short time, but then filling the gap confidently. And Andrea should also be able to fill all of the gaps confidently. And then these 2 hundredths of a second will make the difference. Crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. Every time it's like these really tiny time differences. I'm always amazed.
Yeah, I think last year we even had a draw at cards when both had the same time to the hundredths of a second.
Yeah, that is really a rare occurrence, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. So that means if Alex doesn't change anything more, he will take the lead with 3-1, which is already extremely comfortable. No, it's not extremely comfortable, but it is a lead that is definitely a bit of a challenge for Andrea to overcome, but he can do it. Nothing has been decided in the set, both extremely strong, and Andrea is a real fighter. So Andrea is the one who is always fighting in his matches and very often performing when it like really counts. I think this is one of his classic marks. So this is also why he is such a memory champion, and it would be much too early to say that this set has been decided. Alex needs to bring it home by winning two more games if he wins those cards. And the next discipline with quite a high percentage will be national names, because this is Andrea's other strong discipline. And you can expect that both might get 30 or 29 names. Will be very close to.
No, non è possibile, non è possibile.
And that's it.
So Andrea is saying here, this is impossible, this cannot be, and I can understand the sentiment. this is really bad luck in a way that you are so close behind. But it is how it is, and he will have to choose the next discipline.
Yeah, it's not twice. So both for images and cards, where Alex is just really a fraction of a second, basically faster. So images were also less than half a second, I think. 22 hundredths of a second. Now it's 0.2 hundredths of a second. That's tough.
Yeah, it's tough, of course. I mean, and these are the things that you can expect, that the matches will be very tough between those two. And but they are so experienced, and they are so great fighters, and they are so psychologically strong that they will just say, okay, well, this was bad luck, and now on to the next discipline, and they will be fully focused there. So I have no doubt about it.
We're having, was it Andrea's choice now again? Yes. So you said you guessed that he would go for names, right? National names.
I mean, this is what he has done before, and it would be hard to say what a better choice would be. I mean, he has still left cards, numbers, and words, and in words, I think they are about evenly matched. In numbers too, and in cards, Alex has a bit of an edge. So I would give Andrea a certain edge in national names, definitely.
Yeah. So just looking at the scores from yesterday a little bit. So they had 3 games in national names. Andrea won 2 of them. And both it's 29 or 30.
Yeah, I think like from a general standpoint, much of this match will be decided always in the first 4 games of a set, because this is where both will be taking their strongest disciplines. After that, they will be evenly matched. And if you are going into the more evenly matched disciplines with a lead, then of course many of the coin flips will be favoring you, because with every coin flip that you win, you will get closer to winning the set. So it will be extremely important now for Andrea to win this national names and to shorten Alex's lead to 3-2, putting more pressure on him again. And we see again Alex here with a bit of a faster pace, seemingly, than in national names. He is at this mark at the final column at around 30. So I guess he might be able to look at the faces twice, which is this is much more important here in national names, that if you look at the names twice, that you manage to look at all, because you will need a score of 30 to beat Andrea. I think this is clear. Andrea will either get 30 or 29 names, and he will be faster than Alex. So as you see here. So either Andrea gets 30 and wins the discipline outright, or he gets 29. He is that strong. And if he gets 29, the only chance for Alex, of course, is to get more information, which is to get 30. These are the classic matchups that we've also seen yesterday. And Andrea, starting with a method, I think, invented by the great memory athlete Katie Commode, where you only write the first letter of a name there in order to in order to be able to be quicker in recalling faces. Because it's also important, if you have never made a memory match, that this information is stable in a way, but of course there's always a small information decay. So you want to check all of the faces as soon as possible in order to strengthen the connection between name and face again. That's why they are going through many of the names, and they're only writing down those maybe that were at the end, so that they can get them out of their system. And Andrea, already in the stage where he has looked at all of the faces once, has verified that he thinks he knows what is there, and he's starting recall. And he's starting recall rather early, I feel, and he is recalling very confidently. So this looks like a great try for Andrea, and I think the chance that he gets 30 here has definitely increased. So it looks like a classic 30 here, which would be the win in this discipline.
Mm-hmm. And I see in the chat section we have some more viewers right now. It's a bit over 40. See also Katie showed up. I think we're gonna see her or have her on the stream a bit later, or basically as soon as she wants.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, what did she miss? So we had a nice surprise event in the beginning where the competitors had to memorize the participants of the World Tour final, the top 16, with the names randomized. And then we had a few rounds with international names, images, and cards. And especially for those last two with images and cards, we had Alex win with once with 22 hundredths of a second in images and with 2 hundredths of a second in cards. So really close games. And yeah, this one looks to be going to Andrea if nothing changes.
Yeah. And there we see Andrea with a very high percentage of 30 in national names, which is very impressive. He's definitely one of the absolutely strongest in that discipline. And but Alex keeping up the pressure, that's also noteworthy. Also getting 30 and in a way waiting for his chance. So in the second set, those two will definitely play national names again. And we will see those 4 disciplines that we are seeing now being played out again, most probably. Yeah. So at the moment, it is Alex has decided those 4 disciplines, if you don't count the surprise event, with 3-1 for him, which is a certain advantage, of course, because he will have the next choice. So he will most probably either take numbers or words. And as I said, I think in words they are around evenly matched. Maybe Alex is a bit stronger. He's getting a higher percentage of 50 than Andrea, which is always an almost guaranteed win, unless your opponent also gets this. And in numbers, I would say Alex may be having a slight advantage, but only a very slight one. I don't know what your statistics say, Florian, but that would just be my gut feeling.
Yeah, so I don't know. I sometimes feel like they're hard to actually read sometimes. But yeah, overall, I would say Alex is a little bit more consistent.
Do you have a statistics how they have performed when they were playing a certain discipline against each other?
I think somewhere we have that as well.
Okay.
I will try to check with it. See, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get it up to the board on the stream.
Sure. No. If it's like too much hassle, then it's not a problem. But in the end, what we are seeing here now, Andrea has beaten Alex in national names and has closed the gap a bit. 2 points for Andrea and 3 for Alex. And Alex still needs to win 2 and Andrea needs to win 3 in order to clinch the set. And a tiebreak will only happen in that set in the unlikely case of a 4.5 to 4.5. So we would need to see a draw in that regard. Otherwise, it will end 5-4 or 5-3 or 5-2, one of those options. And the next match, I think, will be the next discipline will be quite crucial. If Andrea manages to win the next one, it will be a psychological success for him. He will have equalized again and have re-breaked Alex and will have a good situation. But if he loses, Alex will have 2 set points. And 2 set points is not bad because you can then, for example, strategically think to go for a higher risk in one of the 2 disciplines, to really try to be faster than your opponent and have it in your own hands. So I think a very crucial discipline for the whole set, a bit like the 7th game in tennis. And Alex choosing numbers, interesting choice.
That makes me kind of curious how it went yesterday with the numbers.
Alex clinched the match with a 13.9, but Andrea only had 25. And apart from that, I think they were very evenly matched between 13 and 15. And I think that's where they will also be like ending up. Andrea maybe with a 13 or so, and Alex looking a bit slower with a 14. Yeah.
Because what I recall also from the first game that they had in the earlier tournament brackets was that Andrea was a bit struggling with actually getting all the 80 correctly in quite a few of the games. And it seems like also yesterday, so he only got all 80 correct once out of 3. And that is, of course, if you're not getting all the 80 correct, it's tough to win the games.
Yeah, absolutely. And for people who want to look stuff like that up, there is this great search function on the Memory League main page where you can also select a tournament. That's what I've also done. So yesterday we had Andrea beating Alex once with 27 seconds. And Alex beating Andrea 78 to 75 digits, so both going for fast times. And in their first match 8 days ago, it was also so that they rarely both got it. So it will be interesting now, but both with very confident recall. And this would be a great success for Andrea to get those numbers. And he's recalling very confidently. So I think this looks like a high chance of him getting all of the 80 digits and equalizing that set. Alex also, but if Andrea gets all of the digits, it will not matter what Alex gets. And Andrea, unless he is now finding some gaps, he should get those all. It looks like a very confident recall, as I said, and here he's entering the digits, and that's the point for Andrea if he doesn't change anything. And the rebreak. So we will see how this whole thing plays out from here on.
I mean, I'm just reading some of the comments here, and it's like, 14.99 is too slow to win against Andrea. And I don't know, just the thought of that just seems very funny to me. But yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, it is simply the fact that those two will go for those times, and if one of them gets those, then it will be too slow. Yeah, 14.31 would have also been too slow, definitely. So it is of course tough because getting those times around 15 seconds is like already tricky. Yeah, I mean, you can train these, and I mean, training it's not so hard to get like 76 digits or 78 digits or stuff, but really in a competition going for 15 or below and getting 80, that's really a great effort. So nicely done by Andrea here. What do you think would be Andrea's choice now? Because Andrea is the next one to choose.
So he has, wait, I updated the actual numbers. All right, it's Andrea's next choice. So you can pick cards, numbers, and words, or words. Yeah, my guess would have been, would probably have been words, I would say. Depending on how it goes in numbers, maybe he would stay, he might pick it again.
Maybe what we have seen yesterday. I'm not sure whether it was tactics by Andrea or whether he was distracted twice, but he twice went for numbers times above 20 seconds. And when he got the 27 against Alex's faster time, it seemed that he seemed to think that this was kind of strategy. I don't know. This might also be an option, like Andrea's new strategic element, to now think that Alex would be going faster and just going for a safe time and let Alex go too fast. Yeah. So I wouldn't even be completely surprised if Andrea does this.
Let's see, I'm checking something right now in OBS. So I feel like the game column here that we have in the middle is starting to get a bit too long. Let's see if we can scroll a bit.
Yeah, here in chat, Orkan also saying Andrea will choose numbers and he will go safe. That's definitely an option. And the recall ends here in 3 seconds. Andrea did not change anything, and he equalizes 3-3. Very interesting first set.
So you mentioned earlier regarding how the scores between them have looked like in the past. So I'm just going to try to bring that up quickly on the screen while we wait for the next game to start. I'm not sure how up to date this is at the moment. It might be that some, I don't know, some of the more recent ones are missing, because I actually haven't checked this spreadsheet in a while now. But here we can see a little bit of their statistics, let's say, against each other. So for example, in names, we would have, Alex has won 12 times, Andrea 20. And a few draws. You can see the one draw that they had in cards. I think that's the one you mentioned where they had the same exact time, which was really a crazy one.
And I also think they had a draw in international names, maybe in their first match or so. Or they had a draw yesterday. I think it should have been in international names. I think one of the draws was from yesterday's match. Of course, this is basically the fundamental structure of that match. So Alex having quite some advantage in cards, international names, and Andrea having the advantage in names and images. That's why those are the two disciplines that they are taking first. And words and numbers, they are around evenly matched, with Alex with a slight advantage in words because he's getting 50 more often than Andrea. So, and this is how set 2 not will play out, but this is maybe one option how set 2 could also work, that it will be extremely important how those first 4 matches end, because then we are getting in more even territory, as we've already said.
So on the Twitch stream, we also had a snowball drop or parachute drop or whatever you want to call it. I swear it's not rigged. I managed to get the highest score.
And I see somehow Katie Komodo is usually, as Johannes has said yesterday, very good at these drops again for a 90, but beaten by Sven Florian with 98. And what is that? Andrea only now seeing that he has won, or?
I don't know. They haven't started with the next one.
Because I heard someone, now here numbers.
Okay.
Numbers. So Andrea going for numbers, and I think if he goes for numbers, there's quite some chance that he will go for a time like 25 or so. Because I think maybe this is his new modus operandi in a way. Let's see. But this was what let him lose the game yesterday.
Yeah.
And he is... No, he's going for a fast time. But Alex seems on a faster... No, Andrea on a faster pace. Oh, wow.
I think Alex had some just connection issues there slightly, so it was lagging a bit behind, but...
Alex had some connection issues?
I don't know. It looked like, at least in the recall screen, it was stuck a bit on those... on some numbers for 2 seconds or something like this.
Okay. Hopefully it did not distract him.
No, I should not. So only from the Memory League website, so not his screen or anything, I think.
Okay, this would be a time, this time here would be a top 5 for Andrea in the whole last year, including every rated match. But for Alex, it would not be in his top 5, but still a very fast time. 13 seconds is extremely fast. And yeah, now Andrea having it in his own hands again. Andrea being here in control. If he gets the 80, then that's the point. And this looks like a typo. The 9 and the 0 looks more like a typo here. Andrea starting recall immediately, very, very confidently. So this, with this, definitely not a typo here at the 22. And he's also thinking a bit more. What is his percentage in that range, Florian?
roughly 1 out of 3, he would get all the 80 numbers correctly.
1 out of 3, okay. And what is Alex percentage?
A little bit more than half, maybe 2 out of 3.
Okay.
So
and it looks like he's getting them.
Yeah.
And now it will be the old game of can he correct and can he fill the gap? Did you just see, Florian, that Andrea had his cursor? Of course, for people watching, where his cursor is always the yellow cell, and if the yellow cell vanishes, then you can see that the person has logged in, so they can't change anything. And Andrea had his cursor on the 0 in the last row, and he did not change it. So this might be a part of the grab that we had mentioned, where he might have grabbed the wrong image. And he also does not seem to be aware that something's wrong with the 4-6 in row number 2. Usually, if you are not aware in the beginning that something is not okay, then people rarely fill this. But Andrea corrects this one. And Andrea is very good in filling gaps and in correcting mistakes. So I would think there is still a definite chance that he gets the 80. But he would need to start thinking about the 22, 46 and fill the gap, of course, the 3-9-3 gap. He is more concerned about the end of the first row. And he has 2 full more minutes, so still options. Extremely crucial here. And the one who wins this will have set point. And now he is concerning himself with the gap. This is always tricky if you need to correct 2 things. Yeah, you are spending your time with the first gap here, and you need to fill this, and then ideally you also need to think about those 46 digits. Yeah. So the closer we get to the one, yeah. Sorry, please.
Yeah. No, if you have, let's say, the gaps, it's always one thing, let's say, to just go through your images, but then if you have misremembered something and you initially wrote something else down, I always find those a lot harder to actually fix in the end, because you probably or might not even know that you memorized it wrongly or wrote down.
Much harder. Yeah. And it's always something that surprises you then, and where you also need some experience not to let this distract you after the match, yeah. Because this is not so nice if you feel that you might have everything and then you are surprised by a mistake on a position that you were not expecting, yeah. So I guess even if Andrea fills this gap, I'm not even sure that he is aware of that the 46 is incorrect. So we will see this. But 30 seconds, time is ticking. A very valiant and courageous effort by Andrea, definitely extremely commendable that he wanted to go faster. But as you said, in around a third of cases, he gets that. So in the other 2 cases, he would have to hope that Alex doesn't get his. So let's see how this thing develops. 10 more seconds looks not the best for Andrea at the moment. And it's over. This is the lead for Alex, 4-3. But fantastic scores by both. Also 76 for close to 12 seconds is a great score. Sadly, here's not enough, but it's a great score.
And now it's back to Alex's choice.
Yeah, and I'm quite sure he will take words.
Yeah, it's.
I think.
Yeah,
I mean, he only has words. Yes,
it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, it would be quite some psychological move, but it's not worth it. And I mean, I mean, I'm quite happy that in our sport it is not. It has not become kind of a trend to try to distract your opponent or so, as it is like in other sports. I always feel that's a bit of unfair behavior, and I'm very happy that this is not something that people are doing here. So, I mean, it's of course within the rules and it would not be forbidden, but just personally, I'm like happy that both are just trying to go fast and not trying to do stuff that is really distracting. Very fair players, both, and we will be seeing what will happen at the Worlds. Alex can clinch the set with the Worlds, and I think Andrea needs a 50 here. Andrea needs a 50 to win the Worlds.
Yeah, if he manages to get this one, Alex, then the first set would go in his favor.
Do you have some stats, Florian, about the percentage of 50s of both in the last X matches, like in the last 50 rated matches or so?
I'm not sure about the last 50 matches, but we do have let's say the general. And again, I'm not sure if this is statistics just from 2022. I think so. I might be wrong on that account though.
I think it's just for 2022, because if you take 2021 also, then Alex should have a lower percentage of 50s. He should be, if you take both years, he should be at 31 or so, 37, maybe 40 or so with the scores now. And Andrea, if you just count the 2 years, then would be around 20%. Yeah. But my statistics only counts like World Tour matches. Yeah, like seasons and slams. And there, Andrea was at 20 and Alex at 37. So we definitely see a certain edge here for Alex.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure actually so we always have the stats in all different kinds of flavors. Sometimes we show them with everything. Sometimes we only show the seasons and slams, etc. So I never really know unless I messed with the stats before which subset we're actually looking at.
Yeah. And
we'll just blend that out
so,
for a second.
And Words has started, and what you are seeing is that Andrea also seems to look at the words twice. Alex too, but Alex already a bit further than Andrea. So, or is Andrea? No, I'm Andrea looking at them once, of course. Yeah, sure. And he will be having the faster time, a time around a bit below 50 maybe. But Alex also now catching up, might not be able to catch Andrea time-wise, but comfortably goes through the words. And if you are having a looking at the words twice approach, you are always happy if you go through them twice and there is no scrambling there at the end. So I can say this from personal experience. And as we said, most probably Andrea will need 50, and or if he has 49, he needs to hope that Alex makes a mistake. And this is a spelling mistake at the last word, which should be findable, I guess. I mean, looks like a very basic Italian word.
Okay, so it seems like we have not been following the Twitch too closely.
Yeah, Orkan was like asking, what is Alex doing when he closes his eyes, in your opinion? I think he's just concentrating. I think he's just going through his locations, normal stuff. And for more details, I think he could be better, better person to answer this. But I think just to closing your eyes, calming down, and focusing on the next discipline.
I think we also had a question a bit earlier from Iridescent regarding when the next event will be streamed.
The next event?
Actually, no clue.
I think there is not yet a specific date for when the season starts, but and the slam dates I'm also not sure. But this should be announced soon. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Hannes is also trying to do the. What is it called? More about memory? No. So he's trying to do a weekly stream every Wednesday, I think.
Okay, the more than memory, I think, or
yes.
So. And getting to our words memorization, Andrea here with one typo at spot number 6 and one mistake, one wrong word at spot number 11, one typo at spot 37, and one spelling mistake at 48, and one gap at 42. So I think people rooting for Andrea should be most concerned about spot number 11, And spot number 42, the gap and the incorrect word. I think Andrea will be able to correct 6, 17, and 48. That should be doable. But even if he does this, he would be on a way to 48 words, and Alex has all 50. I really feel Alex has increased his amount of 50s compared to last year. He is always performing very good at words at a World Championship. Always, I think, higher in percentage of 50s than usually. So this is a strong asset here for him. And 44, of course, is not what Andrea wanted.
Do you actually know your own, let's say, percentage of getting all the 50 correctly in the?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of an interesting question because I have changed my way of memorizing words. And I have changed after the 2022 season was over. I've changed from looking at them once to looking at them twice. And before, like during the season, like in 21, 22, I had, I think, a percentage of 20 or so. But now in training, I've made around 100 training tries. And I think in my last 20 or so, I am at 70 to 80% or so. Ooh. So this is really something nice. Sadly, in my match against Vishwa, I couldn't do that. But in my first 6 tries in the World Championship, I had it 5 out of 6, I think. And I'm really happy how that turned out. So it really helped me to get this second thing. But there's no guarantee that my training results will translate to competition results.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's not quite 70 or 80%, I mean, even I would say everything over 50% is extremely strong.
Yeah, Katie, I think, is at 54. And this was always my goal to see that I could reach this. She's like always faster also, so she's definitely stronger. But I knew that if I wanted to have any kind of chance against Andrea and Alex and also against Katie in future matches, I needed to work on words, for example. And I think I'm also above 49 average there, of course, like 49.5 or so. And I'm really looking forward to every words match now. Even if I don't get the 50, it's just so much more fun if you look at them twice.
Yeah.
And sorry, people, for talking about other stuff, but that's the first set for Alex. Alex wins the first set, and I guess they will be making a short break now. But Alex, for the first time in this World Championship, being closer to the title than Andrea after equalizing yesterday. So now a bit of pressure on Andrea. And he will have to perform at his absolute best now, but nothing has been decided. Very exciting match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think even like the first couple of disciplines that they were performing today, they both managed to get, let's say, the full score and everything. So we had the surprise event, both with 16, then images, both with 30 with great times, then both 52 cards with great times again, both with 30 names, both with 80 numbers. It was only now in the end the last two where Andrea didn't quite get all of them correct. And then, of course, it was just tiny time difference that actually made it in favor of Alex here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, on the one hand, you would hope that every match is close because those two athletes are so evenly matched. And on the other hand, you would also like to see, okay, maybe someone demonstrating a clear superiority. But, well, I mean, what can you expect? I mean, winning is enough. Mm-hmm. And, if you win the close ones, but you still win the others clearly, we will be seeing something similar in the second set. And it is always for Andrea to break the pattern, to really break Alex, because Alex has a slight advantage, I feel, in more disciplines. He has the edge in cards, international names, as we have seen, but he also has a slight edge in words. So Andrea needs to break through, because in a normal set that goes to 4, those are already 3 points for Alex, so leaving no room for a slip up. And I expect Andrea to really come out with all guns blazing here now in the second set and get some really great results. And I think the chance that we will have a third set is quite high.
Yeah, I'm also showing right now on the screen the last part of the tournament brackets. So Alex and Andrea have played quite some sets already against each other. I've been going really both ways so far. Out of curiosity, have you had a look at the world rankings already, and how the results here might influence that?
If Andrea wins, then he's world number 1. And Alex then world number 2, as far as I can say. I don't think that anyone can catch him. Naoki will be world number 3, and I will drop to 4. I think those are the major changes. And of course, Vishwa will make a boost. And I think surpass maybe even Katie, or he will be evenly matched with Katie. 400. It will be quite close between Katie and Vishwa, and Naoki will be 3, but Alex will. Let me check if Alex places second. Now he's still at 4,700. So basically, it's between 1 and 2 in this matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the column here with the World Championship is the one from last year, right?
Right. So we would basically then this would then drop out, and season 14 would be on the left, and the World Championship would be on the rightmost column. And I mean, if Alex wins, of course, his score keeps unchanged. He will still have 5,200, and Andrea will also have 5,000 here if his score is unchanged. And I drop by 500 points to 3,750, and Naoki stays at 4,000. So Naoki 250 in front. And the others, I think, don't crack 3,000. So still interesting how the whole thing develops, but very close there. So, and catching up can, of course, happen extremely quickly.
Still not. I'm not sure how long they said they would go for a break.
I did not see anything, but let me check. No, there was no communication.
Maybe they just had a tacit agreement.
Yeah. I guess five minutes is like a normal amount of break, yeah. So, but it's already 6 minutes ago, so I think they might start soon.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think you already mentioned in the beginning, but in this second set, if I'm not incorrect, so we play basically until 4 with a lead of 2.
Yeah.
And in case of, let's say, a draw, then we at 6 we have a tie break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a bit of a special rule that also applies for the final of a slam, one of the great tournaments. And I mean, if you might want to say it, then you might also count the World Championship among the slams. I think nobody has thought about this. But the idea was basically that in the final, you have a tiebreak a bit later in the second set in order to allow people to get their 2-point lead. And in the last set, there will not be a tiebreak. A bit like in Wimbledon, or how it was in Wimbledon for quite some time. I think it's not the same anymore in tennis in Wimbledon, but there were these extremely long matches.
Yeah. Let's hope we don't end up with a 10-hour game match. That would be tough both for Alex and Andrea, but also for us and for all the audience as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But maybe the audience would also greatly enjoy it. So we never know. And here I'm being asked by Orkan whether he would crack the top 10. Let me see. A bit hard to say. Orkan getting 500 points for his score, which would be 400 more than he has now. because his 100 score would be here exchanged or be supplanted or whatever you want to call it. And he would have 1,600. That looks like a good chance to get into the 10th spot. Because I think Braden will not get more than 350. Don Michael, even if he gets 350, that's not enough. Yeah, should be spot number 10, if I'm not completely mistaken, Orkan.
Latest, by the time that Simon Orton does the update on the website, we will know for sure.
Yeah, we already have a written confirmation here in Twitch chat by Simon Orton, so things have been clarified, and my calculation skills have been
nice.
confirmed. But yeah, this is also the intrigue that you always have points to a defend. So the next slam, many people will have many points to a defend, in particular if Alex or Andrea or both take part. So will be very interesting. And now we're already 9 minutes, so I don't know why this long break.
So they are both in front of their screens. There are also the images.
Yeah. Okay, so Andrea has already challenged him, so maybe he already challenged him like 2 or 3 minutes ago, and both are just preparing. Andrea starting with images. Andrea has the first choice because Alex had the first choice in the first set. And as we have said, in order in a way to read this match or to make some strategic points, those 4 first disciplines will be really crucial, and both will most probably be choosing the same. Andrea images national names, and Alex international names and cards. And the break will be worth very, very much.
And here they go.
Yes. Andrea with a slightly faster pace. Yeah, this looks like Andrea will finish first. Oh, yeah. Almost a second.
Okay, this is very nice. So in the first round, they both went for 13 point something seconds. Alex a bit faster this time, but Andrea with under 12 seconds.
What's his percentage there?
Let's check. So Andrea with percentage of, yeah, so it's roughly 12 seconds. So between 50 and 73% of getting all the 30 images correct.
I love this game.
And Alex with, yeah, at this point, bit higher. So 77, yeah, 3 out of 4. Not too much of a difference, but still, yeah, just a tad bit more safe those times.
And interestingly, Andrea not recalling directly. Maybe he has a longer grab, or he's very sure. Okay, now he starts recalling the final row, and this looks very good for Andrea. The wrong, but this is just one location switched. So maybe he has. Okay, but usually Andrea corrects those initial mistakes if it's just on the same location and in a different order. So we often see Andrea correcting mistakes and then getting everything. And as long as he gets the rest, I think he will notice that the sequence here at the end was like different, because then he will know what the other image was that would be actually on spot 28. And we will be seeing him change now in, I guess, 5 or 10 seconds at the most. So he has now noticed, I guess, that something might not be correct, and he will most probably be changing it. And there you see it. That's the pattern that we know from him. And both with 30, extremely impressive. Andrea with a top 2 result in the last year. Wow. And Alex with a top 3 result. This is both really in the top shape here in this match. Great. Absolutely great.
Yeah, I think Orkan mentioned it before, but Alex has been almost flawless in every single discipline so far, with perhaps the exception of international names, but there makes a bit more sense. Yeah, it's nice to see there being, let's say, both green on both sides and them actually competing, let's say, for speed. And not that someone just has a little bit of a worse day and then making some simple mistakes.
Yeah, and I mean, I think what is also really fascinating is that Alex has made such a jump at images. I think this is almost incredible, because he was, for much of 2022, he was struggling quite a lot with the discipline. He mainly lost against Katie at the Pan American Open due to images. I think he lost all 5 images matches in that semifinal, and he always had trouble getting between 18 to 20 seconds. And now he's like cranking out 13, 12, and really impressive. But it's nothing new. Alex is such an extraordinary athlete that he can improve even in disciplines where he might not have the most natural talent. That definitely is Andrea or Jan or Vishwa in images. But he also increased his scores tremendously in international names, which is also extremely impressive. The same as, by the way, Naoki and Vishwa. They also increased their scores there. So I think that's the hallmark of someone who trains much, is motivated, that they can also improve in disciplines where it's not usual that you improve. So
yeah, I think that's also a sign of it's not just in memory sports, but let's say in other sports as well, that they're really great. They also work on the things they're not as good at, that are maybe not as fun to practice.
Right.
And it makes a difference.
It absolutely makes a difference, yeah. So, I mean, the effect alone, for example, that Alex got the 12 seconds here, will again put pressure on Andrea in the third set if Andrea wins the second one. So even if he didn't win the point, this counts for something. So Andrea knows that 16 seconds will not cut it in images. And it also feels good to get the 30 images, even if you don't get the point. So it keeps you in your rhythm. And now must win again for Alex. International names is a must win situation for him. And he showed good form in this match and up to this point. Yeah, international names has much to do with really being free in your head and being quite relaxed, that you get those associations and that you can connect them quickly. In particular, if you are looking at them twice. So you really want to have this first connection between name and face during your first run, and then that you just strengthen it during the second run. And the pace, I think, looks okay for both. Both looking at them twice, and both around at the same point. So Alex a bit faster, should comfortably be able to look at all the faces. Yeah, I think that works. And Andrea, I think, also looked at all of them. Both of them at the same time. Potential for a draw. Will we see the next draw in this discipline?
And that's also something, especially in international names, that we see quite a lot, I think, where people really just take all the 60 seconds. And where sometimes if you just stopped it at 59, I think we see that a lot in your games where you stop it at 59 point something. And if it's a draw in score, then it will go in your favor.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see here a great start by Andrea. Maybe this was a set that he liked better. If you look at the names, hard to say always. But this was definitely maybe a set that was more positive for someone who is good at national names. Because at the moment, this looks like an easy 20 or even 22 or 23. So Alex will have to stretch himself here a bit in order to beat this. So I think Andrea should definitely get at least 20 from what I'm seeing here. Yeah, 19. And now the last phase that he hasn't tried. A bit unsure about Vaya. And Alex starts his recall, so he still has some options to overtake Andrea, enough gaps left, but not that much room for mistakes. Now here a letter switch by Alex in the last phase of the first row. And he's still at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And that should, one letter. And here, can he get the 21? This looks like 21 Alex taking the lead extremely closely. 22, 23. Yeah, this will be hard to catch for Andrea. Andrea, thinking about specific names here, he really would need to get an inspiration now, really, to that unlocks not only one phase but two or three, just to get the draw. So this will be hard, but still great score by Andrea. 20 is for him it's good. A normal score, I would say, for Alex with a very strong 23. But Andrea is still fighting. Sorry, did you want to say something, Florian?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So sometimes I'm just silent and checking out things behind the scenes, so I'm not forgetting anything.
Okay, so Andrea still at 20, 40 seconds left, and Alex almost 24. I mean, this is a great try by Alex. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 phases where he has the name almost, yeah. So that just shows that with just a few different ideas, he might be easily have like landed at 25 or 27. So despite this being close, still quite a gap between the two in this discipline, and this should be the 1-1 in this second set. Now, Andrea needs to score again, most probably national names. And we will see whether Alex might be able to catch him now, maybe with a 30-29, or whether Andrea keeps his undefeated streak in this match, in this discipline.
I think for a second we had I'm not sure if Hannes is still in the chat or in the audience. I think for a second he slapped a high sticker onto the stream as well.
Ah, yeah.
Probably checking up on us that we're not saying anything inappropriate on the stream.
No, a high sticker for 0 bits and okay, and here we see at the drop crossload landing for 13.37. You might almost think was an elite drop, you could say. Yeah. Maybe even a reverse elite drop. And now taking a bit of time until we have the next discipline.
But overall, they have been going at it very fast, I feel. So not too long breaks between, just going at it.
Yeah, I think that makes sense for both. I think both will want to preserve their own rhythm and their own shape. I think both are feeling good at the moment, both performing on quite a high level for them and on an extreme level for everybody else. Yeah, if you feel good, then you just want the next discipline to start. They are playing since around 1.5 hours, not so long. So this is still, I also think, stamina-wise, this is still doable. And national names starts in 10 seconds.
Ooh.
Wow.
All right, it's on the screen.
Again, it's a must-win for Andrea, as international names was a must-win for Alex. Because both will need to win their 2 first disciplines. They are so strong. I made the comparison a bit to arm wrestling yesterday. What I meant by that is both are so evenly matched, and you think that it's close. But if one is just if one is getting a little advantage, then the set can suddenly end. And that's why it's so important to have a good start. So Alex, in a bit of a slower pace, he will need to speed up in order to be able to see all of the faces. But I think he is increasing the speed. 10 more seconds. This should be enough to see all of the faces. Yeah. It might have a bit of a risk that he maybe brushed by a few faces too much, but we will see this soon enough. And Andrea, again, with a great time. He has this nice rhythm when looking at the names twice. And I think we will again see a strong score here by Andrea in one of his favorite disciplines.
Yeah, we shall definitely hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. And Alex also starting recall early, as he usually does here. Andrea with a typo, a typo here in the last name on the upper row. He will see this immediately. Oh, he brushed over, but he will see this later on because it can only be Gian and not Gina Piero. And Alex at the moment at the stage where he's looking at all the faces and just checking whether he knows the name. Andrea also. And I think both around at the same time will start at the first face in the first row and start recalling. So we might also score-wise see them rather close here. It will be quite a close race. And now, of course, Andrea will be correcting the name in the last face in the first row, because now he will see that it's Gian Piero and not Gina Piero. And Alex very confidently, at least until he comes to this name, the next one also. And now Andrea will correct this name. He overread Gina Piero again. Oh, this is starting to get a bit tricky. Wow, I'm really surprised. And Alex struggling with the last two names.
In the meanwhile, while we're getting to the end here, we have another person on the stream. So welcome, Katie.
Hello.
Hello, Katie. Greetings.
Hey, you're right.
Great to have you here.
Thank you. Better late than never, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
How was the football game?
Yeah, Liverpool lost, so not good. Yeah, I had a few other things to do too. So, but yeah, looks like it's been a interesting game so far with Andrea and Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. First set was extremely close. And I think you've also been watching a bit here on stream, and Andrea also now correcting this and getting to 30. So it doesn't really matter whether Alex fills these two faces here. And the chance is very high that we will have a 2-1 for Andrea in the second set.
Yeah, good to see him attacking with some good speed.
Yeah, this is really crazy how high the percentage of 30s is in national names for both of them. But of course, Andrea is the stronger one in this discipline. And I also guess if Andrea wins this discipline, then we will see cards by Alex. And we most probably will see Andrea attacking again. So a close cards time, and I could easily see this time Andrea being faster. And after getting a bit of bad luck in the first set. So this will be the first really crucial discipline of the first set. The cards of Alex 2-2 and everything's still open, or 3-1 with 2 set points for your opponent. Certainly a difference.
I think Alex might have some connection issues.
You mean this is why he's not entering?
Because, yeah, internet problem on the laptop.
Okay.
So
That's also why it doesn't show the results. Okay, no, it shows 28.
yeah. So it might still update later depending on what he wrote in. I will write in the chat for Andrea as well.
Just noticing we've got yet another spelling of Terence. We were talking yesterday about Terence, but here's yet another spelling. So there's at least 3 different versions, I think, in the database.
Wow, okay, with an A. Yeah, this is this somehow common in the UK?
No, I mean, I think a lot of these names are not really that common in the UK, like Eldon and actually this is a fairly normal set, but yeah, you get a lot of American names in there, and yeah, some of the unusual spellings, which yeah, makes it a bit tricky. I don't think the Italian names you get so many variations.
Yeah, I also feel that somehow the English set is quite American English tilted, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, the good thing is the good in brackets maybe, as I said, that it doesn't really depend on those 2 names. So Andrea had 30, so he definitely has 1. So we won't have like a later correction here of the results in any case.
Yeah.
So Alex laptop is not in the Zoom call at the moment, right?
He got all the 30 correct, Alex.
Okay,
no,
wow.
So his front camera is not in here. So it seems like he had some internet issues. So that's also why the last 2 names that he filled in did not actually upload yet to the server.
Mm-hmm.
Orkan saying Alex thinks the problem is the phone camera, but it's the front camera. But hopefully he fixes it soon.
Yeah, and he thinks it's back, but let's see. It'll be for Simon Orton also to figure out in a way. Yeah,
so in this case, it would not have made a difference for the end result anyway, since Andrea managed to get all the 30 correct.
Yeah, I mean, still a bit of let's just hope that's not too big of a distraction for Alex now. Because of course you always need this feeling that you can rely on your technical equipment in a way. But here it seems okay. The phone camera is again also there. Looks good. And he also seems to have connection on his laptop again.
Just waiting for him to rejoin the Zoom call as well. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, wow. And seemingly in both national names events, both with 30. So the time is the major difference. But I think this is definitely also, in case Andrea wins that set, it is not the worst for Alex, because there is pressure on Andrea. He needs to get the 30 national names and he needs to get the 30 images. And Andrea is not being able to put similar pressure on Alex in international names, but in cards. Cards will be very interesting now. Let's see after Alex connects again. And Johannes in the Twitch chat.
Yes,
he was the one who said something. Yeah,
yeah.
always lurking in the background and seeing if something works or not. Okay, Orkan is predicting 15 seconds by both in cards, which sounds like a reasonable prediction. I would even go say that they both go for 14. And
then I will go and say they both go for 13.
Wow, yeah, this is. I just wanted to hedge my bets here and say, and you can't exclude that there might be a 13 in there, but your tip is of course better, much more concrete. But I say no. I say 14, 13. 13 by Andrea, 14 by Alex.
I think 14 by Alex, 15 by Andrea.
Okay. And who gets what correct?
I think Alex gets it. And Andrea doesn't.
Okay. I say just to keep it equal, I say Andrea gets it and Alex doesn't.
And I will say that both get it.
Both get
We
it.
have a nice spread.
Okay, now I think technically everything should be up to date again. And what's going on? Alex already. It's like. I think Alex is still on the images screen, at least on Twitch. But now he's on the main screen and he should be taking cards now. Everything else would be a huge surprise.
So the previous cards game that they had, Katie, was perhaps the most exciting one, where Alex stopped the clock 200ths of a second earlier than Andrea.
Wow.
And they both had the 52 cards correct.
Very nice.
And both with 14, yeah. So
yeah. Okay. I remember, was it last year's final or one of the finals last year when they had exactly the same time?
yeah. That was also really crazy. I mean, we might see this here again.
Yeah. You never know.
And Orkan making his prediction even more concrete. He says, Alex 15.21, Andrea 15.63. Maybe. But I would be surprised if we don't see at least 114 here. But of course, everything can happen. Future is still wide open.
Are they on the card screen, or is that I have a hard time seeing the color?
I think Alex
I
is
think,
sheet. Or maybe not.
yeah, also looks to me like a spreadsheet where he has some kind of stats. Like maybe he wants to gauge whether he really needs to go for 13 seconds or whether he can comfortably go at a pace of 14 to 15 and simply say, okay, if Andrea only gets it in 20% of the time, then I can risk that.
Maybe he's got a random number generator to time how fast he's going to go.
Yeah,
I got 43 seconds.
Yeah, number generator. Or maybe it's a number generator that's only shifting between 13, 14, and 15.
Yeah.
And we are in the discipline prep screen. It's interesting that you can see the red of the screen much more clear on Alex's sidecam, and on Andrea's sidecam, at least for me, it looks like a bit more brownish. But here on Alex's side, it's very clear. It's the red of cards. And Andrea having left the screen again. Oh, no. Or did he? No. Okay. Okay. Then we should have a start of the discipline soon.
I think it can take a while. After you have to check your technical equipment, it can take a while to get back in the zone, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. In 10 seconds, memorization starts. Okay, all of our predictions have been made. We will see whether Orkan makes the prediction of the century. Alex seems to go faster. Yeah. Of course, I could never know this, but it was just about how it appeared on screen. I think his initial pace was a bit higher. So this means Alex has it in his own hands to win this discipline. 14:08, again, extremely close. And Florian, what is Alex's percentage with those times? I think I've asked this before. It's around 90% or so?
Let's bring it up on the screen. Yeah, so quite interesting enough, between 14 and 15 seconds, he's a bit less accurate than when he's faster than that. But yeah, I would say maybe 3 out of 4, or even higher than that overall.
And for Andrea?
1 out of 3 times.
Okay.
Yeah.
I find it really interesting that Alex doesn't start with the grab. But maybe he really feels that he's quite confident about everything.
But he uses variable locations, right? So it can be hard to do the grab because you don't know what color the cards are, maybe?
Yeah, right, yeah. Right, yeah. Okay, yeah, sure. This is also something interesting for our viewers. Alex and also Katie and also a few others have a system where you don't encode the color of the second card. It's a 2-card system, but with fewer images. And the color is encoded by the question of whether you change your location or not. So sometimes you need to puzzle stuff together. And it can be quite a hassle to recall, Katie. Can you maybe tell us a bit about this?
Yeah, so obviously when you're recalling, you don't know how many images are in each location. So I cap it at 3, so I know there's going to be no more than 3. But sometimes you do a lot of shifting around. I was talking to Don actually about the grab because I found a way to be able to do the grab and know which colours the pairs were. So if it's a red first pair, I can imagine singing the syllable, like the phonetic syllable that the cards make on a higher note. And if it's a black first pair, I imagine a lower note. So I kind of end up singing these syllables in my head, which Don thought was really crazy. But that helps me to know which way round they go. Grab. So I don't know if Alex is also doing that. I would be surprised.
Yeah, but what Alex has been doing here, Alex has put the 6, Jack, 5 and 8 on the wrong locations. So he, the 6 of clubs belongs to the spot that he has highlighted at the moment. So this can be, and he notices it. Okay, he notices it. So he notices that. Yeah. So this looks much better now. If he's on the right track, then he fills that in now, and then he shifts the cards back. Okay, this looks more like a 52 now for Alex. Yeah. Yeah. But there you see which scrambling you need to do here.
Oh, Simon Orton's saying he also used the singing method for the cards grab. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Cool.
Good to know.
So, and what we are also seeing here is if you have a bit of an advantage in a discipline, that this shows itself, of course, also in the real match. Yeah, Alex here with a 75% chance of getting such a time, Andrea only with around a 35% chance. And we see that Alex is already finished. Andrea is still struggling, still possible to get the time. But if Alex doesn't change anything, then it's his point and he can equalize to 2-2. 27 seconds left, so not much time. And that is the point for Alex. Now Andrea with the crucial choice between most probably numbers or words. And what do you think, Florian and Katie, that he might choose? What would you choose in his place?
Sorry, whose choice is it?
It's Andrea's choice now.
Andrea's choice. Wow, okay.
He still has cards, numbers, and words.
I don't think he'll choose cards, but maybe words.
Would perhaps lean a bit more towards the numbers at the moment. So his last words attempt wasn't, well, that great. He ended up with 45 against Alex's 50.
Yeah,
and he did have a really nice attempt earlier, the first one in numbers.
I mean, you are seeing there how this whole thing starts to manifest a bit. Yeah. So Andrea already with not an easy choice. If it was Alex's choice now at 2-2, I think words would be a rather clear choice for him. But Andrea knows that Alex might have a bit of an edge in words, and Andrea might be, they might be even in numbers, but I feel that yesterday also Andrea was not fully comfortable at numbers. So he might also be reluctant to take that. And cards is not really an option. So will be interesting what he decides. I think he's choosing numbers. If I look and zoom on his screen, then it looks blue to me. So he's trusting numbers more, or maybe trusting that Alex is either slower or makes a mistake, then he's choosing, and then he's trusting words.
Yeah.
By the way, Katie, are you still leading in the drop game?
I think it's a draw between me and Florian.
Ah, wow. Okay.
As far as I know, unless anybody has. But yeah, we're the drop king and queen.
And I'm still the drop fool because I think I've not landed a single time. But then we might still make a proper card.
And you're just not trying enough time, Simon. You just need to constantly do the exclamation mark drop in the chat.
Yeah, I think so too. And
yeah.
Ooh, missed the snow. So Andrea's still not on his place. He is returning, looking very focused. And Alex, also, I think Alex went through his locations, both looking extremely determined. Last sip of water or any kind of liquid before the discipline, and then they start in a second, I guess. Memorization starts in 10. My guess is Andrea goes for 14 and Alex for 13. What are your guesses?
My guess is the other way around. So slightly faster time by Andrea, roughly 13 something, but ends up doing some tiny mistakes. So maybe getting 77 numbers correct, and Alex with 80.
Looks like your guess was quite good, Florian. Absolutely.
I was about to say I agree with Simon that Alex will go. But yeah, no one's going to lead me now.
I don't know. I just feel like generally Andrea has more of this habit of pushing a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I think Andrea might have a bit of a preference for being the faster one in a match. I think he wants to lead the match like I'm a front runner. And this is, of course, not always easy against someone like Alex. My guess is both get it. What's Andrea's success percentage here, Florian, in that range? Again, 30% or more?
Bring it up on the screen. Yeah, so roughly 1/3 of the times, I'd say.
Okay, so that means again, less than a coin flip for him. So he really needs to perform now greatly, but I feel that he will get it. Andrea is a great champion, and I feel that he will get these 80 digits now. Recall has started very confidently. I guess Alex will finish first with 80, but I think Andrea will follow shortly after. This looks very good. Very good recall.
Very smooth.
Oh, a gap, a small gap. Okay, and maybe the next gap here. Oh no, then. But that should be fillable.
2-digit gap.
What's the what are the partitions of 3? They are like, it should be 062, right? Yeah, because the 60 ends here. Yeah, it's 062. So he just needs to go through the 0 section, and he will find this. He will find this.
Depends where he starts, though. I mean, he might not start from 0.
But it's
Yeah, but I mean, he already knows that it starts with a 0.
Oh yeah, good point. Obviously, you start from 0. Yeah,
I would be really surprised. Ooh, okay, but he will get it if he gets to the 60. So that means he is at the 25 in his system. He will recognize the 62. I think still a great chance for Andrea to get the 3-2 lead. It will also a bit depend on how similar the 025 and the 062 images are. Because obviously he seemed to have recognized something in the 25. So I guess from my feeling, he should have reached the 62 by now when going through his system. And he didn't change it around, so maybe it did not appear as too convincing for him. I mean, sometimes in my experience, it can be a bit of a disadvantage if you stumble upon an image before that seems almost correct. This can distract you a bit of recognizing the right image.
yeah, definitely.
I still think that there's a I still think there's a good chance that he will get it. I mean, Andrea is like the king of the last minute corrections in these times in his legendary Arena of Memory, I think, where he scrambled the 10 seconds together. But of course, it's getting harder and harder, but he is trying things, but he has not yet tried the 62. And if you don't have it on the radar now, then it's very hard.
last 10 seconds.
5 seconds. 2-5, 1-6 doesn't. And that's the break for Alex. I would guess Alex will choose the words now. He has such a high percentage of 50s, and simply say, I will try to do my 50, and if Andrea gets the 50 and is faster, then power to him. I think this makes more sense for Alex than choosing numbers again.
So, without wanting a big discussion about the rules again, is there more sets, or will this be match point now for Alex?
This is match point now.
Okay.
Yeah, the rule discussion yesterday was quite excessive, and I have to apologize again today by our viewers. I think we are talking about 15 minutes about the rules, and I guess this could have also been handled differently, but that's what sometimes happened in the heat of the moment. And fortunately, the correct rules have been found, and today the focus is on the match.
That's good. Wow. So yeah. Interesting next game then.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you would like to have, yeah? The match point in the final of the World Championship, and you still have the option to choose one of your stronger disciplines.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alex also seems quite focused. both athletes seem to be in the zone. Andrea has left his spot, collecting himself. I think the only strategic decision now for Alex is whether he tries to go fast at words, whether he tries to go for 50 or so. And this is hard to say. I guess I would advise him to go for a time he feels comfortable with, because he still has a above 60% chance to win the discipline if he gets 50. So this should be sufficient for him. I mean, he doesn't need to beat Andrea necessarily on time and risk getting 48 or 49.
Yeah.
What would you do, Katie?
I think if I was him, I would aim for around sort of 48 to 50 seconds.
Okay.
Because it seems like I don't know exactly his stats, but it seems like a reasonable time, but it's not pushing it too fast. But who knows, maybe he'll go for even more speed, I don't know. But it's a difficult decision, but I think he's got the upper hand anyway, and like you said, he's he doesn't need to push anything at this stage.
Yeah, I completely agree, Katie, and I think it's a bit of a philosophical thing. Yeah, do you say, okay, now I have a match point and it's my right to spend it as I want, and if I go for speed and if I get 50, then it is in my own control and I don't need to hope for mistakes of my opponent? Or do you say, I am very happy with the confident layout of the whole discipline? Yeah, so I guess there's no right or wrong here. I mean, the interesting thing is just whether he feels that he can still get his percentage of 50s when he goes for 50 seconds. Florian, do your statistics also allow for checking for specific time ranges, how many 50s the athletes get?
Well, so technically the spreadsheet does allow it, but I think I would need to actually check here in the... Not sure if we have all the stats in the spreadsheet at the moment. I'll give it a check, quick one. But
nice drop from Kenny Kohagizawa, by the way.
Yeah, wow, yeah. But still less than you and Florian, right?
Yeah.
You have 99.85 or something, right?
I think it's a little bit lower, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But numbers, that surprises me a bit, but well.
Yeah.
Final tip, Alex 13, Andrea 12. And Andrea gets it and Alex doesn't.
Andrea with 15, Alex with 13.
So now I want to know what he would have done in words, but I guess I'll never get to know.
Andrea repeating.
Oh, wow.
Andrea repeating. Wow.
That's a rare sight.
Yeah, but he was playing with this go slow idea in the match yesterday heavily. He was heavily playing with this, and also in his match against me. So I don't know whether that's a strategical decision or whether he just felt that his first look at the numbers was not satisfying enough, was not convincing enough. I mean, he had 25 and 27 seconds yesterday. Great chance for Alex now. 15 seconds sounds good. What's his percentage there? At least 50%.
Over 80% even.
Over
Wow.
80%. Wow. Match point. This is really interesting now. Interesting moment. 80%, yeah. Wow. Alex appearing very focused. And I don't know whether the gestures he's making indicate that he feels he has a gap. No, he's already started recalling. Now the World Championship is being decided now. If Alex fills in everything, that's the World Championship. Just 9 digits left, 6 digits left, 3 left, and that's 80 for Alex. extremely impressive. If he doesn't change anything, that would be the title, and it would be a repetition of last year, where he loses against Andrea in the main bracket and then returns to beat him twice in a row. Would be extremely impressive. But let's wait the full 3 minutes or until Alex logs in. Very impressive.
Yeah, it's been very, very accurate today.
Yeah, and also not shying away from really going for fast times, right? Like this 12 seconds at images.
Yeah, I missed that. That's great to see.
Yeah, Andrea defeated him 11.8 to 12.7 in images, but Alex, I think, got images correct every time with times of 13 and 12, and also had 30 national names every time. So fast, strong, and accurate.
Yeah,
very impressive. And Alex is logged in. That's the title for Alex. Alex Mullen, the new world champion. Huge congratulations.
Great to see his reaction as well. No matter how many times he's played Andrea, he's still really thrilled to win. So it's lovely to see.
So the reaction was from Alex?
Yeah,
so
I
okay.
heard something, but I heard it at a different time to the pictures, so I don't know. But I think he definitely reacted visually anyway.
Very nice match and huge congratulations to both. Extremely impressive. Really great match. Alex, can you already hear us? It seems not yet. Now he's still looking at the chat and now he's going into Zoom again. Wow.
Not much to do for Andrea in a game like this where Alex basically gets a full score in every single discipline except for international names.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, Andrea, it was a great match by Alex, but Andrea always had his chances and was always a very dangerous opponent. So it was extremely close. And both would have definitely earned to win the match. And I mean, how it ended here with perfect numbers again, of course, is a nice end. But both almost always going for very fast times. Extremely impressive. Hello, Alex. Can you hear us?
Hey, I can hear you. Yeah.
Huge congratulations from our side.
Nice.
Not only to you, but also to Andrea. And what a fantastic match from the two of you. Incredible times by both of you, and it was so close. And in the end, Alex edged out a win with very accurate scores and very fast scores. But I think today both had deserved to be a winner, and it was an absolute pleasure for both of us to watch. Congratulations.
Thank you.
If there is anything you want to say about the match, Alex, how you felt maybe in the first or second set, then please feel free. But if you are simply tired now, then it's also completely understandable.
No, I mean, playing Andrea is always incredibly challenging, but always a lot of fun too. I mean, I think the matches are always more fun for the competitors when there's, literally every single game, you don't know what's going to happen, and it's just a nail biter kind of the entire time. And there wasn't a single point in that entire match or any of the matches I played against in this tournament where I felt comfortable, like I was in control or anything like that. So I mean, like you said, I think it's easily something that can go either way on any given day, and that's kind of how I've tried to sort of think about it and just kind of rationalize it in my mind. Often you'll do a good time or a good score in, say, cards or numbers, and he just goes, a couple tenths faster, and that's just bad luck, and then the next game, the opposite happens. And, you happen to squeeze in, a time a little bit faster, or, you both made mistakes, but you made, slightly fewer mistakes. And it's just always such a game of really fine margins. And I try to just keep my head up when I, lose games that are close, and just, think, this is just how it works. It goes back and forth. It's just a lot of luck, a lot of skill, obviously too, but a lot of luck, as well. This particular match, I felt, really quite good all the way throughout. I was, super happy with my performance. I think both of us, have been struggling a little bit with numbers, and, a lot of previous matches we'd be going, like 11 seconds, 12 seconds, and we kind of have been backing off a little bit just for the sake of accuracy. But I can't complain. I think I got the perfect 80 in all my numbers games, even though the times may have not been super fast. But that's certainly what I was hoping for. And same with the cards. I've always been struggling with him. When I make cards mistakes, and he had some really great cards speeds as well. But I got some luck on my side today and yesterday too. And was able to kind of hold on to all the cards games and the international names games. I managed to squeak in a win in the images again today, which I was happy about. It was just, I'm happy with my performance, and it, like you said, it easily could have gone both ways, but that's Memory League, I guess. Obviously huge hats off to Andrea, because he's obviously an incredible competitor and deserves to win just as much. And had a great tournament. Obviously was just coasting through all the way to the final, and dispatched me in the main draw. And then I had to kind of fight my way back, same as last year. But I did not make it easy on me. But again, congratulations to him for another fantastic performance throughout the tournament. And thanks to everyone, organizers and commentators and everyone for putting on another championship. It's a lot of work. I know that, obviously on the competitor side, it's a little bit easier to just kind of wake up and log into my computer and start playing. But again, thank you, guys. It doesn't go unnoticed that you put in all this work to both, make the tournament great for the competitors and also good for the spectators watching at home too. So, just hats off to everyone involved. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex, and a really interesting insight also in how you felt about the matches, and how it feels to be part of such an extremely close match. And Andrea, of course, it's always not the most thankful task to be asked after a match that the other player has won about how you felt and everything. So I don't want to get too much into which disciplines you have lost or so, because I know I was not such a fan. But let me really say that it was a fantastic match by the two of you. So it's not like there's a winner and a loser, but I feel that you were so closely matched in your cards attempts, 14.42 to 14.44, and the close images and so. And both of you, it would have easily conceivable that you to win today, and would have been equally completely deserved. So let me just express from my own side my huge respect for your performance today. It was really great. And it will be great to see you, and also, of course, see Alex again in the upcoming matches and in the upcoming slams and seasons. And I can only say, compliments also for that great match.
Yeah, thank you, and congrats to Alex, that basically played perfectly, and except for the last couple of games in second sets, I can't complain too much. I mean, I also played really well. The first set was, as I remember, the best sets ever played in Memory League, 30 and 30 with low times in images, 30 and 30 names, cards by 0.02 and numbers 80 on 80. Just me, that then I did 45 on words, but the first set was crazy, all really close. And the second one, I started well. Then I messed up with numbers. In this last one, I actually didn't want to go safe, but I kind of got lost during the memorization, and so I reviewed. And so, yeah, as I said, except for that, I can't even complain too much because Alex played so good in basically every game. I played really good, but in the few games in which I didn't play at the top level, then he did and he won. So that's it.
Thank you very, very much, Andrea. And that's basically all from my side. Katie and Florian, I would like to hand over to you. I can only say as my last commentary, it was a pleasure to watch, and I know that both of you will come back even stronger.
Yep. Congratulations, Alex. Just to say, it's a privilege to watch both of you every time. I'm really glad that you both have a worthy challenger in each other, because it's great for memory sport. And despite the long game yesterday, the fact you both came back today and played such a great match, it's really incredible. And fantastic accuracy from both of you, and particularly Alex. Really, really great to see your reaction, Alex, because we appreciate seeing how much it still means to you. And yeah, just to say thank you to the tournament organisers as well, and all the commentators, and particularly Hannes. I think it's been a great World Championship. So yeah, really enjoyed watching. Yeah, Florian?
I mean, after those words, I don't think there's anything I can say better. So yeah, once again, congrats to both. It was really an amazing match to watch. And yeah, it's a bit of a pity that Hannes was not able to be part of the stream today. But I think he was a bit in the chat as well. I think he checked out the game a little bit as well. And yeah, that's really no other words from my side. Really, really, really cool game.
Thank you.
Yeah, and maybe it falls to me to conclude maybe the transmission today. Thank you for Johannes also, and for Simon Orton, of course, and for everyone else who has taken part and who has done so much to make this possible, and to all the athletes. And really looking forward to the World Championship next year and to the season that will start soon, to the next World Tour. And bye-bye, everybody. And instead of Johannes, I might say today, and keep on memorizing.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.
I love this game.